my thought and I go full throttle for my baby. Pass her the Patron before she go crazy. She a bad little bitch, she ain't worried about side eyes from them basic hoes. But they man back home, she be sexing me and I can't leave her alone. Nigga, that's my thought, I like her a lot. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. You might call me a thought, but she likes me a lot. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Nigga, that's my thought, I like her a lot. So it doesn't matter, 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 it doesn't matter.
That was Tory Lanez. It doesn't matter. I think that came out maybe this weekend or 2 weekends ago. What's up? It's your boy Maul. And we're talking about that sweet, sweet herb. That queen of a lady, Miss Mary. Sometimes she could be a bitch as well. Depends on what mood you get her in. So today I want to talk about marijuana and quitting, or quitting, taking a break from, abstaining from marijuana. I, for people who don't know me, am a very avid 420er, which is hilarious because, which is actually hilarious because I grew up around it like so much. Like it was kind of like people say Cali is now, where like the weed aroma is baked into the air. It's kind of like that. Like, I'm not ashamed about it because I was always the person that talked the most trash about people that smoked. Oh man, potheads, weed heads, da 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 da. Man, listen to me, you would have thought it was meth. um, and I was like that for 18 years of my life. Shit, I was like that for 25 years of my life. To be honest, I remember indulging right after I graduated from college. I remember smoking right after I graduated from college, and or not college, right after I graduated from high school. Um, I remember I remember smoking for 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 the first time for real, and it gave me the goofy he like it gave me the goofy like high. Um, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't anything to get me like hooked or anything like that. It was just a good time with a lot of people that I wasn't going to see. Um, for shit that that trip that I went on when I smoked, that was probably the last time I saw all of those people together in one place. Uh, so yeah, it was our senior week. Um, it was our senior week at the beach. Um, the summer of 2010. So that was when I did it. I'm pretty sure for the first time. The second time wasn't until 2013. Um, like the end of 2013. I had a really rough day at work. I had just gotten out of the military, and I was working like at this manual labor place, like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I had a really bad day. It was like a transitional job. Like I was just waiting to get into aircraft mechanic school while I had this job, and like these guys were dicks. Like, but it was a production job. I'm like, yo, like it was a production job. I knew I wasn't gonna be there much longer. I didn't really give it any of my all, but regardless of that. So I had a really bad day. I hit up my homegirl that I knew smoked, and I told her, I was like, "Hey, um, it's time, it's time. Like, call rally the stems. It's time, it's time. Rally the flowers and the buds, and drop me off some of your finest weeds that $20 could buy." I didn't realize that once Uncle Sam said, "Yo, we good? It's legal." Like, bro, the price of the brick went down. Oh my god! I told my homegirl to bring me $20 worth. She brought me like 3 packs of Swishers and like an eighth. I was like, wait a minute, what? I was like, wait a minute, what? Whoa, whoa! Where did you get this? Regardless, rolled a fat one, boy. Rolled a fat one. First time. I learned how to do it on good old YouTube. So rolled it up, and back then the only thing I had smoked was tobacco products. So Black and Miles. That's how I learned how to smoke, from smoking Black and Miles. That's how I learned to inhale. The first time I ever smoked when I was 18, didn't know how to do it too much. I hit it down pack by now. I'm what, 20, it was 2013, so 23 ish, around there. And so I roll it up. I'm by myself. It's midday in the summer. Like it's probably like 6 o'clock in the summer, so the sun is still out. And all I remember is going out to my balcony. I went out to my balcony. Uh, I sat in this chair that I had on my balcony. I lit up like a I lit up a full swisher, a full stacked swisher, a full jam packed swisher. And I remember smoking. And I remember smoking like that whole thing or half of that in maybe 2 minutes. It felt like 2 minutes. Like I was sucking the shit out of uh, this blunt. And I was like, whoa, maybe I should slow down. And when I said, whoa, maybe I should slow down, I kind of chuckled. And I was like, oh, what was that? And I remember I stood up. And as soon as I stood up, I hit and started walking. I had the feeling of floating on clouds, or like being on cloud, like light footed. I was very light footed. I remember that vividly. And I was like, whoa, all right, here it comes. And I was super excited. I went inside the bathroom and looked at myself in the looked at myself in the mirror. I think I went to the bathroom. When I looked at myself in the mirror, and all I remember is my eyes being so, like, to me, my eyes looked so big. They looked like anime eyes. Like my eyes looked really big, and it looked like somebody drew them. But they drew them with with the glisten and the twinkle in them. But they looked like anime eyes. It was so weird, but it was funny. And I saw myself in the mirror and I started laughing. I started laughing, but I couldn't stop myself from laughing. Like I started laughing and I couldn't stop. And because I couldn't stop, I started to panic because I couldn't stop laughing. Man, uh and then I proceeded to get higher and higher and higher and higher and until it was like a complete brain fuck for me. I literally thought that I had gotten so high that I started like hallucinating. And I thought that the weed at one point I thought that the weed was so strong that I had killed myself and now I was in hell. I also thought that I also thought that I had smoked too much and made myself like cognitively fucked myself and like made myself brain dead and whatever little world that I was living in, like I thought to myself, like, yo, you're in a coma right now. And what's happening to you right now, those images that you see, like that are flashing in your head when you close your eyes, like this is your reality. Like you're actually in a coma. You killed yourself, sir. Like you're blacked out right now because you smoked so much weed so fast and you have never done this before in your life. And I really thought this to the point where every time I closed my eyes, it either felt like I was in hell or I would see the Tasmanian devil. Like I would see the Tasman. It was super super trippy. Needless to say, I I got high as balls and scared myself shitless. I had to call my girlfriend at the time because I was tripping so hard, and I had to tell her to come and bring me food because I ordered food. I ordered food. I ordered Chinese food and was too high to go like pick it up because I didn't realize I was going to be that high. I started look I started looking up ways on my phone to unhigh myself. That's what happened. I started looking up ways to unhigh myself, and and it said take a shower. So I took a shower, and it said eat food. So ordered Chinese food from my favorite spot. They know me by name. I got in my car, which I understand is illegal. Like you're not supposed to do that. But again, first time I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I yeah, I hop in my car. I literally drive. I literally start driving, not even halfway down my block. I realize how fucked up I am, and I immediately turn around. I don't even go home. I don't even park my car in my apartment complex. I go home. I turn around and I park in the parking lot across the street. There was an abandoned there was an abandoned parking lot that used to be like a department store that had shut down, and I parked my car there. I got out of my car and I walked back to my apartment. Then I ordered food, realized that I could, or then I called my girlfriend to bring me food. Forgot that I had ordered the Chinese food. The Chinese food people are blowing me up because they think it's something wrong or they think it's like a prank or something. Like, yeah. So my girlfriend shows up, my chick at the time. She shows up with a shit ton of food from McDonald's. I thought I ate it in 20 minutes. It felt like it took me like 20 minutes to eat. She said I ate it all in two. And then I passed out. And I went to and I passed out and I woke up I woke up thankfully in time for work the next day, around like 5 o'clock, maybe. Still high, of course, still high, but I didn't know this. Uh, and so I go and I go get ready for work, and I walk outside, and the first thing that I say to myself is, "Where the fuck is my car? Where the fuck is my car?" I'm thinking at this point like somebody has stolen it because this was the first apartment that I ever had, but I didn't know the area, and it was in the ghetto, to be quite honest. And I had a really nice car. I had a black A4, a black Audi A4, which stuck out like a sore thumb in in the complex that I lived in. So immediate thought: somebody stole my fucking car. No, you idiot! You got too high and forgot where you left it. And I literally turn to the right and I see I see it sitting in the fucking parking lot. So the whole day, but basically I was high from 6 a.m. that from 6 o'clock the previous day, 6 p.m. the previous day, until about noon the next day. I didn't start feeling myself until noon the next day. And yeah, I was tripping balls. I was like, yo, this is silly. This is fucking stupid. Rappers do this for fun. Like people literally brag about how high they can get. Fam, this is fucking ridiculous. Why would I ever, 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 I would ever want that? Fast forward 2 years, and I try her again. Fast forward 2 years, I try her again. At this point, I'm about 24, 25. I have a daughter now. I have a daughter now, and a whole different type of stressors in my life now. I'm at this point. I'm kind of living a different. I'm yeah, kind of living a different life because it's literally 2 years later. Um, and I think at this point I was transitioning, so trying to get. So I'd moved out of one spot and I was moving into another, but it was some lapse. So I was watching a house for a friend while I was deployed, and I didn't have much going on in between jobs, in between homes, just babysitting the kid, just doing things here and there, and like I was just really stressed, didn't understand, like didn't know where my life was gonna go, what I was gonna do, any of that. Um, and so I thought, you know what, I can't do anything else. Um, sure, let's try to smoke again. And so I grab some herb. I go to the dispensary. This is the first time that I've ever been there, by the way. First time I've ever been there. First time I've ever like bought anything from there. So I take a recommendation. That's what I do every time I walk in there. Every time I walk in the dispensary, I'm like, hey, this is how I want to feel. Uh, direct me to direct me direct me to the lovely lady, and that's usually how it went. They put me on something. They gave me a strain called Ewok. It was a hybrid, and I believe it was also um, infused, or maybe it had Keith in it. But this was the first time I ever. This was the first like thing. It came in like a packet. It had like one long joint in it. It was a gram. Uh, when I first started smoking, I would literally take one puff and put it out, and I would be blitz for the entire night. I would do that, and I would get. Uh, this was right when Four Loco Golds came out. I would get. I would take one puff of the weed, and get two Four Loco Golds, or it used to be one Four Loco Gold, and that would be my night. One puff, and a Four Loco, and for a very long time, like a very long time, uh, that was my happy place. Um, I would, and like I said, it didn't take much. Like, and I gradually grew. Like, I watched my tolerance like gradually grow. Um, but that took a ridiculous amount of time because I was only smoking on the weekends and then at night, in the dark of the night, when like I didn't have to worry about my kid or anything like that. So, and it really helped. Like it made me, or I feel like it made me learn a lot about myself. Uh, it made me very introspective, like as far as like feelings go. Um, I was, and I still am, but it made me very empathetic to other people's situations, other people's feelings. Like people used to call me a dick, or they still call me a dick, um, and to some to some degree, I I deserve that. Um, to some degree, I deserve that. But what smoking did, it it literally took the edge off. I understand what people mean when they say it took like taking the edge off. I completely understand. Um, because that's exactly what it did. A lot of things that I was like headstrong and no, I'm not doing this. I'm not budging on. Like it, the tree kind of mellowed me out. It kind of mellowed me out, and it was like, that's not a big deal. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, that's okay. And it made me like easy. It made me a little more easy going. It took the edge off of me. It made me more relaxed. It also made me more receptive to things that I would have otherwise like pushed to the side. Made me a little more outgoing, for sure. Um, it did open my mind. It opened my mind because um, I believe I was suppressing a lot. I do. I believe I was suppressing like a lot of things. I went through a lot of trauma as a kid. So, but I never told anybody. I kind of just dealt with it. I never told anybody. I never went to my parents about it. I never went to any figure really about it. I kind of just, moved with it and kept it going. And just let it get to a point where it didn't bother me, like it wasn't right in my face. So I would just move on about life, but I never really exercised whatever emotions I was feeling. And I think what marijuana did was somehow it it put a block on the trauma. It was an escape. It was truly an escape from the the world that I had to deal with and live in every day. And that's why I would genuinely enjoy it in the beginning stages. Uh, because that was my thing. Like I would work, work would be cool, and I would come home. I would turn on like whatever Netflix show I was binging at the time, or whatever show I was watching at the time, and then like smoke, and that would be my night. Like I would smoke, I would clean, I would smoke or listen to music. I would clean, like meal prep. Like it was literally like, yo, it set the mood to get to do everything because I didn't have it. It gave me a release, or not a release. It gave me a blocker, possibly. Well, not possibly, definitely. It gave me a blocker. It blocked off. A lot of the ways that I was feeling, like subconsciously, about life and things, to enable me to just enjoy the moment that I was in. And that was really what did it for me. It truly allowed me to enjoy the moment that I was in. Um, the bad side of that, what it really did, and what I'm discovering now, um, is that what it was truly doing was, like I said, putting a block on how I was truly feeling about life. And I continued to do that from 2016 until I continued to do that from about June of 2016 until, for the most part, now. Uh, Around the same time, 2022. So I'd say about a good 7 years. I've been indulging in the herb, and yesterday or 2 days ago, on Monday, I decided that it was going to be my final bout. I decided Monday that I was going to take a break from it, uh, an extended break, an extended hiatus. Um, gotta tell Mary so long. I gotta break up with her. It's been a good run. It's been a good run. We uh we learned a lot about ourselves, but we just can't be in a long term committed thing anymore. So, and uh, what brought me to this decision? Many things. The the big one being um, the escape thing. Like I understood that it was an escape, or that I understood that it I understood the bad parts of what it was doing. So yes, it's great to have an escape and be able to be in the moment and enjoy the moment. But as time progressed, it went from that to it went from the occasional. It went from only doing it on the weekends and it being blissful to I'm doing it every day or every night, regardless of if it's a weekend or not. And then I'm doing it, and then I started doing it like first thing in the morning. Um, so my routine was I would wake up. I would wake up, uh, maybe smoke in the morning before I went to work, and then walk into work because I worked about 5 minutes away. I worked super close to where I lived at that point, so I would smoke or not smoke, go to work, and then on my lunch break or like a break or something, like if I was getting too irritated, then yeah, I would go home on my lunch or on a break, smoke real quick, like take a shower or something, or like wash my face up, and then go back into work, off of 15 or a 30. And I started doing that for a little bit, and that's kind of how I work. That's kind of how life worked. Of course, I wouldn't do it like every day at work, but essentially it was I was blowing down for sure. I was blowing down. Uh, it got to the point where like yeah, I would be high to the point where nobody really knew, or they probably knew, but my performance didn't really waver. or so I thought. Uh, I was able to do like normal like task to, effectively. So I never really caught any strife, and so that went on for literally up until now. And why I feel like it's time for me to quit. Excuse me. Um, it's honestly for all the reasons that it's honestly for many of the reasons that I started. Uh, for one, the the biggest thing is health, my health. I've been doing research, and I've been taking a look at a couple of channels, like listening to experts, and I could possibly be suffering from something, an illness that high concentrates of marijuana can cause. Like if you ingest it and ingest it a lot, CMS or CHS, I believe it's called. Uh, I think it's called hypercannabinoid syndrome or something like that. But essentially, I've had stomach problems since I was like 13. Um, and me smoking and uh, the frequency at which I smoked didn't help that. It actually contributed to it making it worse. Uh, there would be times where I would go through like night sweats. Like I would have crazy night sweats, and then I would wake up to like the the worst stomach cramps, nausea, to the point where I felt like I would throw up. I never threw up, but it always felt like in the morning, never fails, that I would get like something in my stomach. It wouldn't even be the pit of my stomach. It would be like at the top of my stomach, and just a feeling, like an empty feeling, and it sucked. It sucked. I still get it sometimes in the mornings, and I to the point where I can tell like we smoked like some really strong weed, or we smoked too much weed because um, how my stomach is acting in the morning. So um, and that is smoke, and that is linked to marijuana smoke. So if you smoke a lot of weed, and or if you smoke a lot of THC, and or if you consume a lot of THC products, and you have like stomach problems in the mornings, and the only thing that can cure it is smoking, it's probably because you're smoking. Uh, so you might want to check that out. And there's actually people who have died from it. I'll try to find some more try to find some more info on that to come back and speak a little bit more about that. But um, so the health was one thing. Another big thing, the biggest, other than health, was it worked too well. I suffer from anxiety. I didn't know it was anxiety until I kept asking people what the fuck is anxiety, and people explained it, and I was like, is that normal? I've been dealing with that since we had to walk our papers up to the desk and give them to the teacher. Like, fam, like, we, like every decision that I made was based in anxiety as an adolescent. So doesn't everybody live with that? Um, but where it helped with my anxiety at a point, I believe the overindulgence. I believe the overindulgence took it like made it worse to the point to where I started having like panic attacks, or anxiety attacks. Panic attacks. I'm pretty sure they're not panic attacks. Panic attacks sound way worse. But anxiety attacks to where my heart would start beating fast. It's kind of like I couldn't catch my breath. I would start sweating, and like it would be like I could hear my heart thumping in my ears, like dum 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 dum, and it would just go for about 5 to 10 minutes. Uh, and that happened a lot, and I didn't understand what the fuck was going on until I realized, like, oh, you're having anxiety attacks, man. Why the fuck are you having anxiety attacks? Um, because of the anxiety that is induced uh, when you smoke and then you haven't smoked for a long time, or and then you haven't smoked for an extended period, and you're anxious about the next time you're going to smoke. Um, there's some YouTube pages that talks about this like in depth. Uh, Let me see if I can find guy in my history. Addiction Mindset is his name. Addiction Mindset is the channel's name on YouTube. And he breaks it down. I think they do different types of addiction, but he has a shit ton of marijuana videos. So check him out if check him out if you'd like. So the anxiety portion, I felt like at this point it was causing my anxiety instead of curing it. Kind of like nicotine. I realized that the reason that I wanted nicotine is because I continued to feed the little nicotine monster. And just in learning how like the effects of nicotine on the body, it really helped me quit because I realized the only reason that I want to continue to smoke nicotine is because of the last cigarette that I had. And it's kind of the same thing with weed. Um, the reason that a lot of the reason that you have these issues or that I had these issues is because I overindulged and I kept indulging. And it became a way of life to the point where I couldn't do anything without feeling like, damn, I should smoke first. Like I couldn't even life. Like I can't even life without like thinking like, damn, this would be so much better if I smoked. But like I said, of that's that blocker of just trying to get like to remove the disdain that I have from life. There you go. It that worked all too well because I realized what I was truly doing was running from the reality of things. I was running from the responsibility of things because I would just get high and then bop through it basically. Like I would get high and go through it, like and go through the motion and not even really experience it. Whether it be a shitty situation, a great situation, um, any of that. Like it was all rooted it was all while I was high because I felt like I would have a better experience if I was high. When in reality, the highness just the marijuana just blocked off the it just blocked me from the real experience. And now I'm understanding that because I'm learning now in the I'm learning now in the times that I get that little let's smoke, let's smoke now. Like I I'm learning to figure out when those times are, and I'm trying to ask myself why that's a thing. So I have a couple of friends that I talk to, or a couple of people that I talk to on a regular basis. A lot of times when I speak to them, smoke now, smoke, 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 because One of them, well, they both smoke, but just different things. Like one smokes cigarettes and the other smokes. One smokes cigarettes and the other smokes weed. But I was noticing that whenever we would chat it up, I was noticing that whenever we would chat it up, that I would get that urge. I would get that urge, and I used and now I'm asking myself why. And it could be because I'm just so used to it. Because whenever I get on the phone, it's more of like, oh, I can take a break. It's leisure, smoke break. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but also I understood that because it changed my mood, for me, it made me a lot more empathetic emotionally. It made me a lot more emotionally there. I don't want to I don't want to say manic, but internally it may have it may have been manic internally in my mind. Because it was pure chaos up there. When I was smoking. Um yeah, it just made me a lot more emotional. From from it made me a lot more emotional. It made me empathetic. I will say that it made me empathetic, but it did make me a lot more emotional. To where I would have heated arguments or debates on the phone and like yell. I'm like, fam, why this isn't even that serious. Like, we're just talking about concepts for Assassin's Creed. We're just talking about new concepts for Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't I don't understand. Like, why am I so upset? And that would happen not a lot, but it would happen frequently when I'm like, yo, I can't just have I can't just have civil discourse without like raising my voice. Um, but it brought out the passion. It definitely brought out the passion in me. It definitely brought out the emotion in me. I gotta cut my nose hairs. This is bothering me. Sorry. It made me overthink. I overthought a lot. Which worsened my anxiety because I always overthink anyway. Um, the money aspect, because at this point, I believe I was spending anywhere from 40 to 60 every time I went to the dispensary, and I would go to the dispensary like once, or I would go to the dispensary at least twice a week. Um, at least twice because I would always get pre rolls because I never wanted to smoke the same stuff because I never wanted to get used to it. I never wanted to get used to a strain. So I would go I would go to the store and like now at the peak at my height, I would go to the store and just drop 60. Drop 60 on, a handful of joints. Drop 60 on about mm, maybe like 7 grams of weed. And that would put me in the rotation for the next 3 4 days, depending on how much I got. But it was usually around three, anywhere between like 3 to 5 days before I had to go back. And like I said, $40 to $60 a trip. So on the low end, let's say 100 a week, 4 weeks. That's 400, baby. That's 400. I put 500 in my raw, like, like fam, that's crazy. That's crazy. $400. I spend that on food. That's crazy. And actually, I spent more on food because I would be high and I wouldn't want to go through the motions of like getting food, making food. So of course, I pray to the DoorDash gods. Another another 20 to 40 a pop. So financially, it's too much. It's too much. My man Rob, shout out to you. Um, it's too much. It's too much. So money aspect. Um, when I said I felt like I was overindulging. The overindulgence really got to me. The anxiety. Um, I had, I believe, I though though weed, though marijuana does give me that get up and go because I smoked a lot of sativa. Um, I was a sativa guy, hybrid, but sativa leaning, because I would use it to as a pick me up. I would use it as a mood switcher. I would use it as like, yo, let's get to it. Let's go. Let's start the day. And it would do that. It would wake me up, but it wouldn't motivate me. And I guess it would wake me up, but because it was sativa, it also like boosted everything. Like it boosted my anxiety. But at the same time, it then made me want a fucking energy drink. So I was on this weird cycle of waking up, smoking to get a up, but because it was a hybrid, it would give me a little bit of a down as well. And then I would go get an energy drink to really spark me up. To like, so the weed would pop me up mentally, and then physically, the energy drink would get me there. Would get my body there. It would catch my body up. Yeah. So my mind would be going 100 miles an hour, and then it was time for my body to catch up. And again, that again cause health problems. I don't really care what type of energy drinks you consume. There's no way that you can drink that shit every day, especially to the capacity that I was drinking. I was drinking two a days. Hey, they got a deal, fam. 2 for 4. 2 for 4. I'm drinking both of those two. I might have a third. Fucking with me. Don't let it be a long day, because I work at 6 in the morning. So so the financial, the anxiety, the health reasons, of course. Um, the overindulging, and also I have a lot of goals, and I believe that though I've made it this far in those goals, I believe that I could go, and I know because I've done it before, that I could go much harder and farther if I didn't do it intoxicated. If I went into the things that I'm trying to go into now sober, I know that it will help me tremendously. I know that where my focus needs to be, it's so technical and granular, and I have so many things that I just want to I want to do and put out, that I want to do and put out to the world and grow. That takes a lot of dedication. That takes a lot of commitment. That takes a lot of energy. I just don't. I don't have it when when I smoke. I don't have it when I smoke as much as I want to tell myself like, yo, you can, like, yeah, I can, but how effective are we? Really, how effective are we when we on the herb? And that's kind of what I just had to look at. I've tried to solve for everything else, and that's the one common denominator. Like, yo, yes, 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 at a point it helped us. Yes, yes, but now, and honestly, it didn't really help us. It just put us in a place to not be as urgent. It put us in a place to not be as urgent. It allowed us to sit there in misery, and it was our company, and we loved it, but we were still sitting in misery. It, Mary just made us forget that. She was a warm body, so I did not mind being in oblivion with her. But it didn't take away the fact that we're still in oblivion, fam. It didn't take away that fact. So now it's we got to do the work, and in order to do the work, we got to do it clear mind, clear body, and yeah, man, we just got so much to do. We got so much to do, and I don't want to be a slave to anything. I don't like waking up and thinking to get my day started. I gotta do this. Like I should wake up and it's on. I should wake up and it's on. It don't matter. It shouldn't matter what I put in my body. I should wake up. I should need a substance. I should wake up and it's on all the time. And that's where I'm at with it. Yeah, man. Just tired of being a slave. Tired of being a slave in every way possible. I am sick and tired of being a slave to anything. And this is what the first steps to that looks like. So what? Are we fishing up day two? It was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Off of my notes, days 3 through 5 are the hardest, or supposed to be the hardest. They'll most definitely probably be the hardest for me, just because the weekend. Day 5 is Saturday, I believe. Um, Day 5 is Saturday, so I'm gonna have to do something. Uh, do something to keep my mind off of it. I'm studying for um, a hacking exam. As you can see, I missed my deadline, but it happens as long as we finish it. at this point. Uh, that's one of my big goals. And anybody who's a pen tester or an ethical hacker or anything that has to do with IT security or IT for that matter, learning, just like the learning aspect of it, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's too much to be clouded. I'll say that. It's too much to be clouded. It's too much to be clouded the way I was clouded. I could probably I could probably lock in off a little some little baby, but a little baby strain or something, like some little weak sauce, but not the stuff I was getting at. And like I said, man, it just I don't need it. I don't need it. And it got to the point. It had gotten to a point where I really thought that I needed it. Like like I really thought that I needed it. And I don't. I don't. Nobody needs it. Everything that everything that the plant brings out of you, you have it in yourself, fam. You have it in yourself. Everything that plant brings out of you, you have it in yourself. You just gotta use that. You just gotta use that, man. Uh, a lot of high level guys talk about that. Grant Cardone talks about that a lot about how he was strung out on drugs, crazy, when he was like 25. And he said he hit a point, and he was like, "Yo, I don't need more drugs. I need more things to do with my time." And I was like, he's like, "Yeah." He says he doesn't. He says he doesn't do drugs. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke because he's high. He's high off life, is what he says. But I got him. I understood him because, like I said, weed the plant slows you down. It slows you down. It takes the edge off, and then it makes it it makes you think you're okay in whatever emotional state that you were in. I could have been piping mad. There's times where I was piping mad, like punch a wall piping mad, and I smoked and it changed everything. It the same situation happened, but my aggression immediately subsided. But the only thing that changed was something I inhaled, and I didn't exercise that. I didn't exercise those feelings. I, I didn't get mad and you know go through the proper channels to release that anger. I buried the anger, buried it, and that shit comes back up. Everything that I've buried and not handled has come back to bite me 1,000-fold. 1,000-fold. Because instead of addressing it, I smoked weed and I pushed it down until one day the weed couldn't push it down anymore. And one day the emotions needed to get hurt. And no amount of weed was going to stop the emotions from being hurt. And I don't want that anymore. I don't want that anymore. I want to commit to something. I want my full potential. And it's there. Like my full potential is in me. You know what I'm saying? Like your full potential is in you. This fucking herb doesn't do that. Don't be slave to that shit. My goal for right now is for good. My goal for right now is for good. I know that's extreme, but that's the mindset that I have to be in, because if I'm not, it's just going to if I'm not, it's just going to I'm just gonna prolong. I'm just gonna push it down and prolong it until I hit the goal of a month, or uh, if I say a month, it's like, oh, well, shit, it was a month, man. Like, hey, I made it. Like, hey, nah, nah. We back to earning shit over here, fam. We back to earning shit. We not celebrating when it ain't shit to celebrate. We working, because the whole point of us stopping is because we have goals to accomplish. Goals that can't be accomplished while we slow down. They can't. We've tried. We got to hit another gear, fam. We have to get. We have to hit fifth gear. We have to hit fifth gear, fam. Fifth. We are stuck at four. We we can't get past fourth gear to save our life, fam. We have to get to sixth, or we have to get to fifth. And we can get the fifth. Two. Because I know we got two more in there. I know we got two more gears in there. We like Luffy. We like Luffy, baby. We know it's some more gears in there, baby. Awakening, they got gears too. We'll find them. But yeah, it's time. It's time to work. It's time to make something of ourselves. It's time to live up to the full potential. You know, like I said, right now the plan is for good, but it's gotta get things done. It's gotta get things done. And if anything, um, we're we're done for good working on it. We're never getting to the point where we got to work on it again. We're not. We working sober. We working clear mind. Clear mind is danger out here, fam. It is dangerous out here. You can't be caught stupid, making stupid decisions, making emotional decisions. That's what we're good at. We're great at making emotional decisions, which is wild. Because I was supposed to be Mr. Cool, Calm, and Collected. But yeah, it's been an hour. Man, let's wrap that up. Let's wrap it up. So, we done smoking, man. We done. Day 3 tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's supposed to be tough out. We got a tough time on the road, so to speak. But hopefully I have my baby. Um, she wants to play soccer, so uh, I got a pretty big backyard, so I got no K size backyard, I guess. So we're gonna get to it and kick the ball around this weekend. You know, learn some new tricks, I guess. Shit, man. Get out of here. Me and the squad. Me and the squizzy. Just about to get out of here. Maybe read some chapters or something and take it to bed. Uh, books, books. If you're trying to quit smoking, weed. Um, trying to quit smoking weed. Trying to get smoking cigarettes, nicotine, vapes. Um, a really good resource. A really good resource. I mentioned addiction mindset. They're really good. That's addiction mindset. He's great with it. He's great with it. And the homie Alan Carr. Alan Carr. ALLENCARR. The late great. Rest in peace. Um, the easy way. It's called Alan Carr's The Easy Way to Quit. And he has a whole series. And that's what helped me stop smoking nicotine. That's what really helped me explain or helped me make sense of what the drug was doing to my body and what it was influencing in me. Uh, so if you can do that, if you can break down like, yo, this is what's going on in your body, and this is why you feel the way you feel, I'm sold. I'm sold. You can if you can make it make sense, and Alan Carr makes it make sense in a way that no one has ever made sense to me. So check it out, Alan Carr's The Easy Way. Addiction mindset. Uh, what else? I think that's it. I think that's it. Um, so thanks for talking with me. Thanks for talking with Maul, and we'll be back later. Peace.